1 black coffee with sugar, sweet and low. Oh, don't forget a dash of 90.3 WHPC.
We don't have that, sir.
Sure you do. All you have to do is tell your smart speaker to play WHPC on your Amazon device.
Play us all day, every day, on your smart speaker. The voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
The voice of Nassau Community College.
A 2019 Marconi Award finalist from the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is 90.3 WHPC.
WHPC HD Garden City.
Available anytime on your smart speaker.
And anywhere on iHeartRadio.
Yeah! 90.3 WHPC. Welcome to another edition of From the Press Box right here on the voice of Nassau Community College. My name is Rob Leonard, and joining me, of course, is my brother and award-winning sports writer, Tim Leonard. Hello, brother. How you doing?
Good morning, brother. I'm fine. How are you?
By the way, today we wish Bruce Springsteen a happy 70th birthday. The pride of Freehold is now 70. Hard to believe.
Man.
And today on Revelations at 5 o'clock, Steve K will be doing a tribute to Bruce Springsteen, and joining him will be Thunder Road radio host Kim Tracy.
So, I was about to say good morning to Kim Tracy when you played the Springsteen.
Yeah, so it'll be a nice little Bruce special at 5 o'clock, between 5 and 7 today, on your radio or your listening device, depending on what you listen through, iHeartRadio app, TuneIn.com app, and, of course, our radio station, nccradio.org. Brother, should we say the Daniel Jones era has begun?
Well, yes, it has. Obviously, it has.
I don't know. I mean,
more surprisingly, it started successfully.
Well, that's the thing. And I look at what happened with the Giants, and they gave up a lot of points yesterday. And
their defense is not good.
They barely won.
Thank you, Matt Gay.
And, is this something if Eli was playing yesterday, would have he gotten those points?
I think, or would
let's put it this way: would the offense have come through for Eli? Maybe that's a better way.
Let's put it this way: it's a hard thing to judge because Daniel Jones brings elements to the game that Eli Manning never will, and pretty much never did. And that's first of all a quarterback who is capable of moving outside the pocket and actually doing something with his legs. Eli Manning has been at a point in his career for at least a couple of years where when he feels pressure, he just goes down.
Right.
And is looking to avoid getting hurt as opposed to looking to escape and making something happen. And Eli was never fast. He was never that guy who was somebody who could escape trouble and operate outside the pocket. Could he roll out? Could he scramble? Yeah, he could. He wasn't always somebody who would just turtle and fall down. But as he's gotten older, his issue with his legs has just gotten worse. You don't get faster as you get older. It doesn't work that way.
Really?
Yeah, really. I know you're shocked. So Daniel Jones brings that element. Now, while I'm pleased for the Giants and Giants fans that they won yesterday and that Daniel Jones was successful in his debut with the team, Daniel Jones threw 2 touchdown passes, ran for 2 more. Let's face it, the Giants could have and probably should have lost this game.
I agree. I mean,
and the reasons are multiple.
That's why I'm not too excited about this whole win.
Well,
they won.
Like I said, be excited about the win.
Every
win
win counts. Every win counts.
The win is great because there's not going to be that many of them this season for the Giants. Let's face facts. All right, but when you look at this game, first of all, Daniel Jones lost 2 fumbles. Not good.
Nope.
The Tampa Bay kicker, the aforementioned Matt Gay, missed 2 extra points and missed a field goal. So their kicker left 5 points on the field and missed a 34-yard field goal at the end of the game, which, as far as I'm concerned, is unforgivable because that's basically the distance of an extra point nowadays. So when it goes wide right. How many Giants fans heard Jim Gordon's voice when the kick went just wide right? Going back to the Scott Norwood field goal. Wide right has treated the Giants very well over the years.
And Norwood was 47 yards away.
Well, that was a real field goal.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, people blame Norwood for that. It's almost a 50-yard field goal, and it's in a pressure situation, and that kick went a couple feet wide right. Come on, let's not kill Scott Norwood for that. That's a kick that a lot of kickers would have missed. But 34 yards, yeah, it's 13 yards closer. 13 yards, it's 40 feet.
Yep.
It's a long way. So the Giants were fortunate yesterday, and that's against a bad opponent. Let's face it, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going nowhere. Jameis Winston is not a very good quarterback, and there's a couple other quarterbacks that I might get to mention later who are also in that same boat, who are supposed to be good but aren't. But the only thing that the Buccaneers had yesterday was Mike Evans. And I said in the first quarter, when I was talking to some of my colleagues over at CBS, I said, give me a heads up when Mike Evans goes over 150 yards. I said sometime early in the second quarter, because he was torching the Giants, and he wound up with 190 yards and 3 touchdowns. Which, let's face it, Mike Evans is a great receiver, but 190 yards and 3 touchdowns? Jerry Rice isn't that good.
No.
So that's bad defense. And we touched on it last week. The Giants are a franchise that throughout their history, they have been known for defense. This has never been a team. It's never probably never ever going to be a team, and never has been a team that was defined by offense.
Right.
They've never been a team that goes run and shoot and up and down the field and let's pass the ball. And it's always been grinding offense, run game, big O-line, and we're just gonna run you over and grind out wins. But it's always been big defense. You better be ready because we're coming after you. Lawrence Taylor kind of, wild dogs, that kind of thing. That's all. Their defense right now, I couldn't beat a good college team.
Well, the thing about, you mentioned the defense and the Giants, it's also, the Maras have been there forever, and that's, the influence on the team. I know that it's split ownership now, but it's still the Maras for the most part. And you would think that they would have maybe got some better defense guys.
But it's the Maras have nothing to do with it, bro. I don't know where you're going with this.
Well, no, but they're the owners. Why do you think the Giants have a defensive history? It's because of the Maras picking people who like defense.
Well, right now you have a GM who I'm still not 100% sold on him after the whole Beckham thing. And you know what? I'm still not 100% sold on Daniel Jones. Yeah, he had a good debut. Good for him. I'm happy for the kid because he got crushed at the draft, but I'm still not convinced he's the answer. And if you look at the next few Giants games, I'm still convinced that the reason Daniel Jones got the start in Week 3 had everything to do with the fact that they were playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and very little to do with the fact that Eli wasn't playing well. Because Eli was being Eli. He wasn't any different than he has been for the last couple of years in those first 2 games. You can't pin those 2 losses on Eli Manning.
No, you can't. Because
the defense is atrocious. It might be the second worst defense in the league, and I'm giving the Miami Dolphins the title of the worst defense in the league because they're god awful. They might not win a game this year. That's how bad they are, and it's a legitimate concern. It used to be the Dolphins would celebrate when the last team in the NFL would lose, and there were no more undefeated teams because they were the last undefeated team in the league. They could very well go 0-16. That's how bad they are.
Wow.
So, to look at what the Giants did yesterday, to me, after the game, is where I get a little bit annoyed. Because here's Pat Shurmur after the game talking about Daniel Jones and saying, great, you got to pump up your quarterback. He's your guy. He's the future. Shurmur said, quote, he keeps passing the test in our mind. Maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but he didn't disappoint. And there were rookie mistakes. But when your rookie quarterback throws for 336 yards, 2 touchdowns, and runs for 2 more,
right?
That's a successful debut. And I'm certainly not going to rip the kid for a successful debut. But you're getting from Shurmur and Gettleman, well, why did you guys rip us? Look at what we did. We're geniuses. I mean, that's basically what you're getting from them is you guys don't know anything, and look at how good we did. It's one game. I'm not going to sit here and guarantee losses for the Giants, but I don't see them being better than 1-5 after 6 games. If you call up their schedule. If you look at their schedule coming up, there aren't wins on this. The next winnable game, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, they playing the Redskins in a few weeks. That's probably a winnable game, but more than likely they'll lose that game. The next winnable game on the schedule is the Jets. And how bad a game is that going to be? Jets against the Giants. That's you're looking at 2 top 5 draft picks.
I look forward to this.
I don't look forward to it. I'm not going to watch that game.
You might have
That's
to.
a tragedy. That's a tragedy waiting to happen.
What do you want to know, brother?
Who are the Giants playing the next 5 weeks?
Okay, let's see. You got the Redskins week 4.
Winnable, but probably a loss.
Vikings week 5.
Loss.
Patriots week 6.
Crushed.
And you want to say we'll go 8. Arizona Cardinals.
How are they going to handle Kyler Murray?
I don't know.
They're not. 300-plus yards for him that day. Mark it down.
Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, not a chance.
Cowboys.
That's losing by 15.
And then week 10, Sunday, 11-10, we have the New York Jets.
That would be November 10th, brother.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, you said 11-10. I just don't,
11-10
I don't want people
November.
getting confused thinking it's coming up in 2 hours.
Oh, I don't think people.
But that look at that schedule. Tell me after that Jets game, how many? What week is the Jets? What are they going to be? 2-7?
10. Yeah, they'll be 2-7.
So they have a bye week in there somewhere too.
After the Jets.
After the Jets, so the Jets could be 2-8.
I love this. This is a great schedule.
And the other issue you have now, Saquon Barkley left the field yesterday, and came back and celebrated on crutches and a walking boot. Did you see him hopping across the field?
At least he came back.
I'll tell you what, Saquon Barkley hops on 1 foot probably faster than I am on 2. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe he was.
But he also came out to show, hey, this isn't as bad, or maybe trying to impress.
No,
him.
he was the MRI today. He's having an MRI. In fact, he's probably doing it right now. That will show how bad it is. But Saquon Barkley, I'll tell you what, he moves better on 1 foot than a lot of people on 2. He was cruising. He was cruising across the field on 1 foot. So, again, happy with the Giants' performance? Yes, because they won. But let's not paper over, I'm not even going to say the cracks, because there are gaping chunks in the wall that need to be fixed and aren't going to be fixed until the offseason. Because you can't fix a football team midway through the season. It's not like baseball where you got a bunch of teams looking to trade people at the trading deadline and you can pick up some talent. You can pick up a little bit of talent, but chances are, I mean, look what the Giants traded last year when the deadline came up, and they got a handful of low draft picks. But there's not enough players out there, and the Giants don't have enough draft picks to trade where they're going to be able to fix the enormous amount of stuff that's wrong with this team. So, again, good for Daniel Jones. Way to go, kid. Do I think the other thing I was talking about yesterday. Here's a question for you, brother. I'm going to throw this out there to you.
Oh, my God.
I know. Let's assume that the Giants wind up with the number 2 pick in the draft.
We're already going to the end of the season?
Because it's not a reach.
You shouldn't go. It's too early.
I'm just going to ask you hypothetically.
No, I'm not answering.
If the Giants wind up with the number 2 pick, because we all know at this point the Dolphins are going to have the number 1 pick. That's how bad the Dolphins are. Well, who are the top prospects?
I think the Jets are going to be worse than the Giants.
Who are the top? No, they won't be. Darnold will come back. He'll be fine. The top 2 prospects in the draft are Tua Tagliavoa, whatever. I still can't pronounce his last name. But everybody knows who Tua is from Alabama. And Justin Herbert from Oregon. 2 elite quarterbacks. 2 quarterbacks that coming out will be much higher rated than Daniel Jones was. If you're the Giants, what do you do? Does it matter how much does it matter what Daniel Jones does the rest of the season? And do you unload Daniel Jones and do you take the hit on that because it would be like a Josh Rosen situation from last season? And do you take the quarterback that is projected to have the much better future?
Yes.
Or do you unload that pick and you're going to have to get a boatload of stuff for it? Because
I would dump him, and I'd trade Eli too. Put him on waivers.
Eli's done after the season. Eli's not going to be an issue. Don't worry about Eli.
I would try to trade him.
You're not going to get more than a second rounder for him, though.
That's a great thing. A second rounder for a guy who
you picked in the first round. That's not a great thing
for Eli.
No, I'm talking about for Daniel Jones. No, Eli is out of contract. Eli, don't even talk about Eli. Eli's not an issue. After the season, Eli's gone. He's either going to retire or he'll go to like the Jacksonville Jaguars or somebody bad like that, or the Tennessee Titans, or maybe the Indianapolis Colts. Who knows? If Eli wants to play again, he probably can find a contract somewhere. It's not going to be with the Giants.
No, I didn't say it was.
But Eli's not an issue. So do you trade? Do you say Daniel Jones, thanks for the year, but we're going to move on, or do you say to another team, we need at least 2 number ones plus?
The problem's going to be, and I hate to speculate this far in advance, but if you're going to, whoever you bring in, are you going to bring him in right away, or are you going to let him? How long do you let him learn the system before he plays, and then Daniel Jones maybe continues to play well. So
you can't have 2 number 1 picks quarterbacks on your roster.
Oh, I know that, but I'm just saying that's what you got to think about. That's why we don't know what Daniel Jones is going to do yet. So,
well, I think it's an interesting dilemma because the Giants are going to be that bad, and they're going to have more than likely one of the top 2 picks in the draft.
That's if they're horrible.
They are horrible
the rest of the year. But hey, they won yesterday, brother.
Again, they won against a horrible team.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Well,
a win is a win, but they are horrible, and they are going to be one of the top picks in the draft.
Well, they're going to beat the Redskins next week, most likely.
What makes you say that?
I don't know. My gut?
Optimism. Blind optimism.
Even though I've lost a lot of weight in the last few
weeks.
Well
done, brother. Well done.
My gut is still there.
Yes. So. Got to work on that. We got to work on getting rid of the gut. But yes,
well,
but the gut is there. Yeah, so do I. I have no arguments there.
So, but I don't know. I think it's a little too early to worry about next season. Even though I'm sure that at the halfway point, that's maybe when you start doing it. If the Giants are 2-6 or 2-8, then
you always have to be looking ahead in sports, brother.
Yeah.
If you're not looking ahead, then everybody's passing you.
Yeah, maybe.
So. I'm just throwing it out there. I thought it was an interesting question, and to me, it kind of speaks to did the Giants make a mistake in terms of taking Daniel Jones and not taking one of the elite pass rushers that was available.
Yeah, but the question is, let's say you did.
Take the pass rusher, let Eli play out this season, and then take the quarterback next year.
Well, you don't. It's tough to know what's going to happen. Maybe someone gets an injury, Tim.
Well,
you just can't wait.
But you have to wait. You have to check evaluations.
They had to pick Daniel Jones because
no, they didn't.
They had to pick a quarterback. Eli has been over really since last year.
They still could have gotten him with the 2nd number 1 pick they had. That's flat out true.
Well.
And they could have had an impact pass rusher with that pick. So I still don't disagree.
I personally think you always pick defense over offense, but especially if you're the Giants.
Well,
anything else from the Giants game yesterday you want to mention before we go to break?
Well, let's see. Kicker. I'm curious as far as Saquon because they called it a high ankle sprain after the game. Again, I said the MRI is going to be done today. If it's a high ankle sprain, like they say, he could be out for a month.
Sure.
Those injuries are tough because they're very slow to heal, and especially with a running back. I mean, that's his money right there with high ankle sprain. He needs to get all of that pain and all of that injury out of his ankle before he'll be able to play again. Otherwise, it'll just keep recurring as the season goes on. So that's a tough injury. And without Saquon, I know that Jones did it for most of the game without him, but that's your biggest weapon. You don't want to have to be without Saquon Barkley for an extended period if you're the Giants. I mean that's just unfortunate. The other thing, 18-point comeback for the Giants. That was their biggest comeback since 1970.
Wow,
long time ago, brother. Evan Ingram, good game for him. The tight end, six catches, 113 yards and a touchdown. Sterling Shepard, 7 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown. That's nice to see. 2 receivers with 100 yards apiece. I tell you what, Daniel Jones, he throws a nice ball. I'll give him that. I think you saw that in the exhibition games, and you saw it yesterday. He made a couple of real nice throws. The 5 sacks was a little bit of a problem because That was a combination of maybe the line still is a little bit of a work in progress, and Jones definitely on a couple of them held on to the ball too long. And that's rookie stuff. That's a guy playing in his first real NFL game at real NFL speed, and he needs to adjust to that. And he will. I'm sure he will. But I'm just looking for different issues,
right? Well,
and that's one issue. So. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We're going to talk about the Jets when we get back.
Yeah,
God,
but the less said about the Giants' defense, allowing Jameis Winston to throw for 380 yards.
Right. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to From the Press Box right here at 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. Give us a call, 516-572-7440.
All hit music. For all those songs radio has forgotten about, join me, Big Ed, Mondays from 10 a.m. till noon for The Good Gold Show. We'll bring back all the great hits of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and more. The sounds of doo-wop to disco, all the Motown, soul, and great rock and roll. We'll even take your requests and dedications to The Good Gold Show. Music. On the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
Frank Sinatra,
Bing Crosby,
Ella Fitzgerald,
Dean Martin.
Hey guys, what are you doing?
We're making a list of artists you don't hear on the radio anymore.
Wait, I know where you can hear all of them and more.
Where?
Right here on Standard Serenade. Join me, Glenn DeMilt, for 2 hours of great songs by the great stars. Saturday afternoon at 5 on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Okay. Yo.
Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out.
Check it out.
So a new survey is out 5 most annoying things that make us wait. Number 4, waiting for your food at a restaurant.
Yes.
If you order 17-pound steak, it takes a little while to cook.
What kind of steak are you eating?
I don't know. The 17-pound one.
Apparently. What did you kill?
When I was in Portland, there's like a macaroni and cheese restaurant. I had buffalo mac and cheese.
Did they make it with blue cheese?
They did.
Not a big fan.
I love blue cheese. I had a salad yesterday. I put like a pound of blue cheese.
Oh,
Literally,
no.
I could just eat blue cheese. Like
no, Eleanor, no.
I love blue cheese.
No.
Why would you do that?
No.
I could eat blue cheese with a fork.
Oh, man.
Please stop forever. Blue cheese is the worst thing in mankind.
I don't know how.
History. I'm like aggravated right now.
Nassau Morning Madhouse. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9. On the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
2, 3, 4.
90.3 WHPC. Happy birthday, Bruce Springsteen. You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. The voice of Nassau Community College. I'm Rob Leonard. He is Tim Leonard. We talk sports every Monday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. We are part of the WHPC Sports Talk family. Sports Talk airs every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. And now it's on Tuesdays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Besides us, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Mondays. Anyway, let's talk about the Jets, brother.
Do we have to?
I don't know. I mean,
do we have to?
I mean, I think the Jets are going to have so many tickets for sale for $5 at the end of the season, if not already.
End of the season,
if not
October.
already. StubHub's going to be very busy. And people are going to say, "Geez, why did I buy
Craigslist?
Tickets? Why did I buy Jet season tickets?"
You're gonna be walking down the street and you're gonna look down and say, "Ooh, that looks like a Jet ticket. Somebody must have just dropped them."
Yeah, and no one's gonna want to pick it up. That's gonna be the problem. Wow.
Can I tell you what annoyed me this week to no end?
The Jets
to no end. Well, the Jets in general, yes. This whole ridiculous notion of this the Luke Falk having
brother, he's the next Tom Brady.
That is what annoyed me. This whole nonsense, garbage storyline about, well, Luke Falk was the number he was picked in the 6th round and the 199th pick overall, just like Tom Brady. Except that Luke Falk was picked in, when was he picked? 2018, and Tom Brady was drafted, I think, in 1947 or something like that.
Yeah, well, all I know, brother.
But they were supposed to be the same guy because of the round and the pick that they were selected. All right? Luke Falk is no Tom Brady.
Really?
He's never going to be Tom Brady.
So yesterday when I was watching the game, and I was expecting him to turn into Tom Brady, and he didn't, I was wasting my time.
Yes. I actually said to somebody yesterday
Wow.
while the game was going on, I said, let me know. I said, while you're watching the game and checking in, let me know the exact moment when Luke Falk becomes Tom Brady.
Well, it doesn't happen.
Never got that alert. It was the entire story. I understand why the storyline existed, because sports writers are looking for angles. And I understand that. But sometimes you get an angle that's so ridiculous that it shouldn't be a story. It's just a coincidence. Right. And people wrote this story 2 years ago when Luke Falk was picked in the draft. And one of them I saw, it's the lead of the story was, hey, Luke Falk, no pressure. Are you kidding? He's a sixth-round pick. A sixth-round quarterback. If he was any good, he would have been picked way before that. And you could say the same thing about Tom Brady, but at least Tom Brady had some potential. He actually played at Michigan. He actually did well at Michigan, but Drew Henson was also there, and Drew Henson was this hype machine back then because he was supposed to be like the next great Yankees slugger. Never mind football player.
Right.
But he was like this great multi-sport athlete, and Steinbrenner wanted to give him all kinds of money to come hit home runs at Yankee Stadium, and they thought he was going to hit 40 bombs a year. So now all of a sudden Michigan wanted him to play football, so they gave him the starting job because they didn't want him to leave, and Tom Brady kind of got caught up in all of that hype.
Mm.
So, and let's face facts. People kill me when I say this, but Tom Brady is a system quarterback.
Well,
he is.
Well, the system is Tom Brady.
Well, but yeah. But the system that he's in...
It's his system, so to speak.
But it's not his system. It's Belichick's system.
It's Belichick's system, but could anyone else do it
yes.
like Brady?
They have done it. Okay. Jeremy Brissett, who's now the quarterback for the Colts, has done it. Garoppolo, before he left for the 49ers, did it. If you're a quarterback with any kind of talent, you can run the Patriots offense. Tom Brady has just been remarkably healthy and remarkably durable. I mean, the guy's what is in his 19th
what
season
about Luke
now.
Falk? Could he work it?
No.
Okay.
Luke Falk doesn't have talent.
Okay. Well,
this is the story with Luke Falk. Sam Darnold is going to come back, and Luke Falk will go back to the practice squad or wherever it is that Luke Falk went to. I mean, if it was baseball, as soon as Sam Darnold got back, Luke Falk would be waived, and we'd never hear from him again. Well. And that's not to be negative about Luke Falk. Congratulations for making the NFL. Congratulations on getting a paycheck, but. This is a very temporary assignment for Luke Falk in his life. He's not going to be around for years and years.
No, I don't expect him.
So, this is the state of the Jets right now. That Trevor Siemian is out for the season because he hurt his ankle. He was supposed to be the Jets' backup quarterback. Not a successful career for Trevor Siemian, but that's the state of quarterbacks in the NFL. If Sam Darnold was going to be out for an extended period, I'd probably be screaming at the Jets to sign Colin Kaepernick right now.
There's got to be a reason. We know why, but
we know why.
But he is available and he's been practicing.
Yes,
he should be picked up by someone.
The reason,
just to make a point,
even to be a backup quarterback for the Jets.
Sure.
Because now with Trevor Siemian out for the year, your backup quarterback is Luke Falk.
Yeah, I know.
And granted, he played against the Patriots, and the Jets were seriously overmatched yesterday, like gargantuanly or bigly overmatched. But to say if Sam Darnold gets hurt again, that this is the guy who is going to lead us anywhere is such a ridiculous statement.
Right.
That there's no way to justify it. Even Adam Gase, the Jets coach yesterday, said after the game that the offense was atrocious. And when he said atrocious, he was probably being kind.
Well, they did score 14 points on the Patriots.
It wasn't because of the offense.
Yeah, I know that. But what gets me is Belichick, he takes out Brady, and then he puts him back in.
Because Belichick is a clown. He's a clown.
But you know what? It shows that he has no faith in his team against the Jets. Why would you take out your best quarterback and perhaps get him injured, even if it's not his fault? Let's say he just trips.
Anything.
He had
Brady
and you put him back in there.
Because, look, this is why I say Belichick is a clown. last week the Patriots were crushing the Dolphins. It was like 43-0.
Right.
Brady was in there late in the fourth quarter. Why? Stupid. All right. Then the Jets yesterday, they wind up with 2 defensive touchdowns. It was something off a punt, and then Jamal Adams got a touchdown. The offense did nothing. But here comes Tom Brady with 2:25 left in the game, coming back out on the field because Belichick is a clown. You're telling me at 30-14 that the Jets put the fear of God into New England?
Right. No, it's
come on.
It's 3 scores you have to do to get back, and it's not happening in 2.5 minutes.
I don't wish ever for players to get injured because I'm not that kind of person. I like everybody to have all of their players, but I would have loved it yesterday if Tom Brady would have broken a leg.
You can't
because it's idiotic to have him in the game.
I agree with that.
It's absolutely there is not a dumber thing in sports than to have your franchise quarterback on the field when your team is ahead by 2 touchdowns or the week before ahead by 40 points.
No, I agree.
What's the purpose there? There isn't one. You don't take those kinds of risks. And good for the Patriots that they're able to protect him and that he just throws passes. It's all 3-step drop, 3-step throw. There's nothing really overly long in that game, in their passing game, where Brady is going to be back there for an extended period and open himself up for a hit. That's their game. That's what they do. But it's just dumb.
I agree. Well, better news for the Jets is as part of the NFL 100-year celebration, the Jets announced their all-time team as voted by the fans.
How about that?
120,000 fans voted. Some of these I totally agree with, and some of them, I'll just quickly go through them.
Go through them, brother.
Tom Tooper, punter. Pat Leahy, kicker. Leon Washington, punt returner. Al Toon, wide receiver. Corbett, wide receiver. Okay, I see those two.
Yeah.
Mickey Shula, tight end. DeBrickshaw Ferguson, tackle. Randy Rasmussen, guard. I might have had another guy from the 68, 69, or the 69 team.
Rasmussen was good.
He was. Mangold, the center. Who else could it be?
Kevin Mawai.
Okay.
Kevin, that was a big dispute. There was a couple of disputes on this team, but go through the rest of them.
Jim
We'll hit
Sweeney,
them after.
guard. Winston Hill, tackle, definitely.
That was back from 69.
Yep.
A lot of that line was from 69.
Yeah, that's true. 2 of them. Maynard, Don Maynard, wide receiver. Wesley Walker, wide receiver. Curtis Martin, running back. I don't know, man. I go with Matt Snell.
That was a big dispute. My man House pointed that one out when he said, first of all, why is there only 1 running back and there's 4 wide receivers? That's the part I didn't understand.
There should be another running back. And part of this is you got to always have a little extra more than that would fit on the field because
but I mean, you have running back. Why not make it fullback? That's what Matt Snell was.
Yeah, I would have Matt Snell.
Matt
on
Snell
there,
belongs on this team
only because he scored the touchdown in
Super Bowl III.
The Super Bowl III. I mean, of course, you have Joe Namath, who is the shadow of the Jets for the last 50. Been a shadow on the Jets for the last 50 years plus. No matter what you say about him, he is still Joe Namath.
Joe Willie.
Joe Willie. So it's great. Aaron Glenn, defensive back. Gastineau, defensive line. I don't know about that. Klecko, defensive line. Marty Lyons, defensive line. You got
sack exchange.
Most of the sack exchange there. Who's the 4th guy?
Abdul Salam.
John Abraham, defensive line.
He was good. He wasn't a Jet for long enough.
That's
as far
why
as I was concerned. They let him go, and that was a mistake.
Yeah. Darrell Revis.
Darrell Revis, yeah.
Darrell Revis.
He belongs.
I don't know. Then you have Buttle, Greg Buttle, David Harris, Mo Lewis, James Hasty, and Victor Green.
Yeah.
So I agree with most of it.
Here's the guys that we're missing. Besides Mawai, who is already a Hall of Famer. Mangold more than likely will be a Hall of Famer.
Definitely, I think.
And was a Jet for 3 years. I didn't realize Mawai was a Jet for 8 years. That's longer than I thought he was around.
Right.
But Mangold was a Jet for 11 years.
Right.
The other most obvious missing name besides Matt Snell, where's Keyshawn? The Jet fans never embraced Keyshawn,
but
they embraced Wayne Corbett.
How long was he there with the team? Corbett was different, though.
Because Keyshawn couldn't wait to get out of town. Keyshawn wanted his money. He wanted his money and the damn ball. So, but I think he wanted the money a little bit more.
Of course.
But he left, and
But
and
Corbett
I think
was the guy who took the giant hits in the middle of the field, and God knows how it's affected him now.
Very true.
And Al Toon's the same
but
way.
he's also a local kid. Also,
Right.
Garfield, New Jersey, Hofstra University, free agent. Nobody knew him. Nobody wanted him, and he turned into a really good receiver.
Right.
That's a guy who overachieved to an extreme, and those kinds of underdogs, especially if you're a hometown kid. Those kinds of underdogs, the fans love him.
Oh, everyone.
And he was a very productive receiver in his career.
I always wanted the ball thrown to Corbett instead of Keyshawn
because you knew Corbett would catch it.
Yeah, even I didn't like he was get his head handed to him sometimes.
Yeah,
many times.
That was bad.
On what's happening, there's going to be a special pregame ceremony on October 13th, and all fans in attendance get a rally towel, courtesy of someone. But anyway, they get a rally towel. Ooh.
Can't wait.
We do know that Joe Willie will be sober. Last time they did a tribute to the team. It was probably the '69 team when that happened, and
that's what sobered up Joe was the last celebration they had.
I still remember watching that live, and I'm like, the first time they went to him, you can tell he was hammered. But then they went back to him,
Which was a mistake.
It was like, oh, let's get some more from Joe.
Yeah, because he's hammered.
Well, I don't know if it's because I don't know if they knew he was hammered because he was just being boisterous.
When I saw
Joe
that,
Willie
when I saw that, he started going. I was like, oh, please don't do that, Joe.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to kiss you. Oh no, Joe, don't, no, get off the camera, like, get away, go, like, cut to somebody else, anybody else.
Well, in Joe's latest book, he does talk about this, and he talks about he was actually, he was profusely apologetic about. He called Susie Colbert the next day, and apologized, and she was. She thought it was kind of funny.
I'm sure. I'm sure Susie Colbert's mom was thrilled for her. But I mean, Joe Namath, at his core, is an extraordinarily decent human being.
Yep, he is. Yep.
And I while I was sad when it happened, and it made me cringe, I knew that alcohol was the reason that this was happening, and it wasn't anything that Joe Namath
and it's also
would have done
because
normally.
It was Joe Namath and not someone else. There's a certain charm that Joe Willie has, and that there's a certain forgiveness that they give him, and they did forgive him pretty quickly because he did come out right away and say, "Hey, I apologize," and
he apologized, but then after that, he said, "You know what? I gotta get myself straightened out because
he stopped drinking.
I drink too much, and it's not a good thing, and I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm going to deal with the problem that I have."
Yep.
And good for him. I mean, it's only going to help him lead a longer life. Yeah. So and he can haunt the Jets for another hopefully 10 or 20 years. We'll see what happens.
The sad part is the guy has a lot of football knowledge, and no one's really using it, either as
I don't know that he wants to
an announcer or as even a coach. Well, even
I don't think he wants that kind of schedule.
Well, I don't think he wants the coach schedule. But you know what? During the preseason, wouldn't it be nice if your quarterback hung out for a week with Joe Namath? Joe Namath shows up every year. I know that, but it's only for a day, and it's more for the press anyway. But wouldn't it be nice if, Joe Willie, this is how you go back into the pocket, because he was a great pocket passer.
They know all that stuff, but, it would be nice to be able to pick his brain, and maybe get a couple of little experience tips to help speed up the process. Like I said last week, experience is something that you can't really teach it. It has to just, you have to take the time to let it happen. But good coaching and advice from guys who have been there before can help speed the process.
Sure.
Because that's how you get information. And a good quarterback especially will be able to incorporate that advice into his own game.
Sure.
And especially from somebody like Joe Namath, who knows about getting hit and knows about trying to protect himself and finding solutions to guys coming after you wanting to hurt you. It could only help Sam Darnold.
All Joe Namath has to show the guys he's teaching. Okay, here's a picture of Ben Davidson. He wanted to kill me every single time.
He literally wanted to murder me.
Here's the entire defensive front row of the Oakland Raiders. They wanted to kill me too.
Yes, all of them.
You know,
all of them wanted me dead. Not just on the ground unconscious. They literally wanted me dead.
Yeah, he eat some dirt. You know, he had Joe eat some dirt.
Exactly.
Which he did. He almost choked.
So I'll tell you, I'll throw a positive at you from the Jets' performance on Sunday, brother.
There was?
There was.
Well, they scored 14 points. I think
that doesn't even count. You know what the positive was? They covered.
Oh, you can't go
They
by
covered.
that.
23 points was the spread. It was so absurd, but
Really?
they covered.
Okay, that's
And you know, the
amazing.
only reason I bring that up is because of the arrogant idiots, Patriots fans, who are the worst fans in sports.
I thought the Red Sox fans were the worst in
Well,
sports.
what a coincidence. They're in the same area.
Okay.
But the Patriots fans, first of all, going into the game, did everybody not know that the Patriots were going to beat the Jets? All you heard from the Patriots fans screaming, "Oh, look at that! We're going to score 100 today." Shut up! Are you kidding me? For all the Super Bowls and everything they've won, why can't these people have any class? You know, fine. Take care of the game. Go in. Kick some ass. Fine. Move on to next week. How many times have I pointed out this season? I'll throw a comparison. How many times have I pointed out this season that the Yankees won 14 out of 19 against the Red Sox?
I don't know.
Once.
Really? Only
once?
You sure you didn't go on a tirade
100%
about
once.
the Red Sox fans and how they're all idiots?
100% once. And you know why? Because the Red Sox weren't a factor this year.
They weren't.
They were nothing.
They were nothing.
They were no threat whatsoever. Defending champions, wonderful. What? You know what? I tell you right now, the Red Sox record, same as the Mets.
Look at that.
Which in the American League is a lot worse than it is in the National League.
Well, we're going to take a break right now. You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. Tim, you're on Twitter
at Real Tim Leonard.
Hi, folks. I'm Mel Tillis, and you ain't gonna believe this.
Hi, this is Wanda Jackson. Hi, this is Loretta Lynn.
Hi, neighbor. This is Charlie Leuven. Hi, everybody. This is Bobby Bear. Hello, everybody. This is Ronnie Millsap.
Hello, friends. This is Mike Wiseman.
Hi, this is Lynn Anderson.
Hello, friends. This is Jim Ed Brown. Hi, friend. This is Charlie Pride.
Hi, folks. This is Ricky Skaggs.
And this is Michael Anthony. Join me and my legendary friends as we travel down Old Country Road that Sunday evenings from 8 to 10. We'll pick you up at the next corner. Why don't you join us as we head down Old Country Road for miles and miles and miles, right here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College.
Hey, have you seen DJ Solero?
No, why?
Well, he was supposed to be here right now to tell everyone about his show, The Rare Groove Session, but I can't find him anywhere.
I'll look for him. Maybe he got something to eat.
Food? He went to get food? I mean, who can eat at a time like this?
Relax. I'm sure everyone can figure out when they can listen to the most incredible music from the 60s and 70s that they may not have heard before.
But what if they can't? What if they never figure out when the Rare Groove Session is on? What happens then, huh? I don't want to live in a world where no one knows about the Rare Groove Session.
Hey guys, ready to tell everyone about RGS?
DJ Solero, where the have you been?
I was getting something to eat.
How can you eat at a time like this?
What are you talking about?
Don't mind her. Go ahead and tell everybody when to listen.
Okay, whatever. So if you're looking for some mind-blowing music, check out the Rare Groove Session, now at a brand new time, late Friday nights or early Saturday mornings at 2 a.m., depending on how you look at it. Exclusively on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Come on, everybody. Let's sing along this spruce.
Say it! Show a little. You ain't a beauty, but that's all right.
Join me, Kim Tracy, for the music of Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band every Sunday at 1 p.m. on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and with the iHeartRadio and TuneIn apps.
Happy birthday, Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce.
Turned 70 today. Hard to believe. That means we get older too, bro.
This song especially reminds me of all of those shows at Giant Stadium, brother.
I know. We saw the one on...
Back in the day. I went to a few of those.
Well, I went to August 19th. We went to August 19th.
Yes.
I don't know if you went to another one, but...
Back then? Yeah, I went to to 3.
85.
Yeah,
85?
I went to 3 or 4 of them during that tour.
Okay,
I went with people from Hofstra. I went with my old boss Wendy. A friend of hers had an extra ticket, and they were like, hey, do you want to go? And I'm like, well, how much do you want for the ticket? And they were like, free. And I'm like, yeah, free. I'll go.
I know we went on the 19th because we had waited back when you were allowed to wait for tickets for Ticketron.
Right.
And we were waiting in the Sunrise Mall, and there were lines going all over the place. But then I still remember people walking in, which had to be scalpers.
Of course.
Who walked in first.
Just cut the line.
And they got, like, tickets first, and then I had to come and do my show as a Friday here. So I had to do Beatles songs when I was on 11 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And you ended up getting tickets.
Oh, yeah.
But it took like 5 hours to get them.
It was ridiculous.
It was such a scam. And we were in the top row of Giant Stadium. But if it was a football, if it was half field. That was the beauty of it. But of course, for that, the Springsteen show in '85, he didn't have the screens yet. They didn't figure out how to do a stadium thing yet. So it wasn't as. It was
a big concert. You didn't have. But you know what's incredible, brother? All these years later,
what?
Ticketmaster still sucks.
Well, Ticketmaster and Ticketron are different, but now it's just about putting fees on everything. That's
exactly. That's my point.
Well, they're legally allowed to do it, so it's called legalized scalping.
Yeah.
So anyway, brother,
get a politician on that at some point.
By the way, just one thing I want to mention very quickly before we get into the Mets. The town of Elmont is suing the state concerning the Belmont Arena. They're claiming that the state has no right to turn public property into private property, which the arena would be because of, and also the shopping.
That doesn't sound right. I mean, why would the state not have that right?
I don't know. That's a very good point, but that could be their only fighting point. But we'll see what happens. I still wish that they would just go over to the Coliseum, buy out the Barclays people, then knock down the Coliseum and put it there. You can also set up a
Why
train.
would you want to knock down an arena you just renovated?
Well, who cares? I mean, they didn't really renovate. Timmy, they didn't renovate it.
But they spent a lot of money.
Yeah, but they didn't. They said they did, but all they did was put aluminum siding on it. That's all the Coliseum.
I don't know what they did inside. I haven't been inside.
I've been inside. They didn't do anything. They never made the walkways wider. There's even, unless it's changed, but when I went to the game last year there, they didn't have TV screens with the game on when you're online for food. It's just, it's not what it should have been if you're going to spend all that money. But you know what? If there is a problem with the Belmont area, and I, as you know, I live right in that area.
Yes.
So I know it pretty well. The Coliseum area is the only place they can put it. There's no other place on Long Island, or at least in Nassau County.
First of all, it would back the project up by at least a year, if
at
not
least
more.
More, yeah.
Which would not be good. But we're going to have to see. Hopefully, they get this straightened out quickly because it might seem like there's all the time in the world for this, but there's not. I mean, there really is a bit of an urgency because the Islanders need a home.
Right, and it's embarrassing when they sell out the Coliseum and they don't sell out the Barclays.
Well, the Barclays is only going to have them for another couple of years.
Right,
there's not. I don't think they're going to extend that contract. I don't know that either party wants to extend the contract.
Barclays makes more money from non-hockey events.
So that's what I'm saying. As far as there is an urgency, there's a timeline here that needs to be followed, and lawsuits will only slow that process down.
Right, and I'm wondering if Almont's doing it to stop it, or if they're just saying they're already getting a train station. So Anyway, brother, the Mets. Man, I look back to last month when they lost 6 in a row. If they had won 4 of them, they'd be right in the middle of the wild card race.
Kills me.
They took 2 or 3 from the Reds, 2 or 3 from the Rockies. They're playing the Marlins 4 games, and then the Braves for 3.
They can't lose.
They can't
7-0.
lose.
7-0 just to have a chance.
If they lose one game, it's really over. The Cubs are ahead of them, but you know who's ahead of them?
The Brewers.
The Brewers.
Brewers are playing some great ball.
That's who's killing me right now is the Brewers, not the Cubs.
The Brewers are now, as far as I can remember, brother, call up the standings.
Okay.
But as far as I remember, the Brewers are now tied with the Nationals. And we've been saying for the last at least 2-3 weeks that the Nationals were a lock for a wild card spot. But that's how well the Brewers have been playing for the last 2 weeks. They're killing it.
Right.
And this is all after the guy who I thought was going to be the National League MVP, Christian Yelich, got hurt. He fractured his kneecap. He fouled the ball off his knee, fractured his kneecap. Yes, that hurts. I can see the grimacing on your face.
That's horrible.
It hurts.
Yeah.
But he's obviously their best player. He was the likely MVP and they are playing out of their minds.
Right,
since he got hurt.
Right now, the Brewers are 86 and 70. Now, if the Mets had won those 4 out of 6 games instead of losing, they would have been 85 and 70.
Yeah,
so they would have been right there in the wild card run.
Exactly.
The Cubs are 4 games out of the wild card. The Mets are 4.5.
The Cubs and the Mets are basically the same record. The Cubs are half a game in front of the Mets.
Yeah, and so,
but the Mets 81 and 74 for the Mets, which 7 games over 500, which might be their high water mark for this season. I don't remember them being more than 7 games over 500. I could be wrong.
No, but they.
But this is why I keep saying, talk to me when they get 10 games over 500, because that's when you at least put yourself in the conversation. But now, and now, brother, the phone's ringing. But now we're in a situation with the Mets where now 15 games over 500 is what they're going to need to get a wild card.
90.3 WHPC from the press box. You're on the air. Who's this?
Yeah, my name is Kay. I was just calling to say that it's actually the town of Floral Park.
It's
not
the town.
Elmont.
It's not Elmont, but
it's not. It's Floral Park.
But why would Floral Park sue when the track's in Elmont?
I have no idea, but it's Floral Park that's suing.
Oh, all right.
They feel like because one of the Floral Park Belrose Elementary School is backed up into, where they're building, they feel like the children are going to be unsafe and all of this other stuff that's going into it.
I lived in Elmont for a year and a half. I mean, I know where all these places are.
How would they be unsafe?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Give the kids hockey sticks. They'll be fine.
Well, I mean, I'm all for it, but you
live in Elmont, or where do you?
No,
live?
I live in Floral Park.
Oh, okay.
All right, this is good. This is good information. We're gonna have to dig into this, brother.
Yeah, the mayor is very adamant. He does not want, it to take place.
According to, I'm looking at Newsday right now. It says Elmont civic leaders sue to stop the Islanders sports complex at Belmont, and it's written by Jim Bomback, and it's updated September 22nd. So. It says a handful of Elmont civic leaders filed a lawsuit Saturday to try and stop construction on the Islanders' $1.3 sports and entertainment project.
$1.3 billion.
In the second court action challenging the legitimacy.
See, second court action. The first one could have been from Floral Park.
Yeah, it could have been. Okay.
Yeah, the first one was definitely so that now they both have lawsuits now.
Right.
Okay, well,
I know I read it in the. We have a little newspaper in our town. Oh, I forget the name of it.
Well, it says here at the bottom here, it says here, other plaintiffs include Joyce Stowe of the Tudor Manor Civic Association, Cheryl Lee of the Parkhurst Civic Association, and Aubrey Phillips listed as an Elmont civic leader. The village of Floral Park filed a suit on September 9th, challenging the state's environmental review
Floral Park was there first.
Okay, so it's a combination. It's not just Elmont.
Yep.
Elmont's at the latest, we'll say. Fighting.
I'm gonna make some phone calls. Maybe we'll get the Floral Park mayor on the show in the next couple of
Yeah,
weeks.
you should.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd love to.
He's a hard man to get on the phone, though. So good luck.
They don't escape me, Kay.
Well, Tim's a journalist. So
they don't escape me.
Tim will hunt him down. Well, thank you, Kay, for calling in.
Good information.
Are you for the arena, by the way?
Yeah,
you
she was.
You are.
I'm for it.
Okay.
I mean, but there's a lot of people in Floral Park that are against it. And,
Well, the problem is Plainfield Road, because that road goes around the people are going to be coming down from Jericho Turnpike and cutting through to get to the arena. So they have to do something with that road because the road, it wraps around, for those who don't know, it wraps around the Belmont area.
Yeah, but you know what?
So,
bottom line, there's traffic anyway.
Sure, that's the thing.
I've been here for years. There's traffic anyway. I mean, a lot of the mothers are afraid that it's going to bring in drunk people and trashy people.
Come on, Islander fans. We're talking classy people.
Well, first of all, if you look around the Coliseum, they're not hanging out there right now. It's maybe a night game. There's some tailgating. That's about it.
They probably won't even allow that.
I'm sure they will.
That's what I've said. Nobody's going to be here during the day.
Right. It's not like people, the drunks are coming out.
That's why
out during the day.
That's why I question it when they say the children won't be safe. The children aren't going to be anywhere near the place. They get out of school at 3:30 at the latest.
Most of the games are at night.
Exactly.
And most of the events are at night. So.
I don't understand that.
Exactly. I'm glad, it would bring more jobs,
Yeah.
Yeah. My only qualm with it is is
Traffic.
leaving the place. And if you go down Hempstead Turnpike, you get to like Hempstead, it turns into one lane, and I know people would just keep going east because it's a lot easier than taking the Southern State or something. So and Cross Island's going to be there, but that's going to be hell to get out of. So that's going to
Listen,
they got to do
I live
something.
in Floral Park. I work in Rockville Center. It takes me an hour to get to work every morning. So welcome to Long Island.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
so you don't like it? Move.
You know that. Okay. Well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
All right, have
Appreciate
a good day, guys.
All right, take care.
90.3
Well done, Kay.
WHPC. Yeah,
We love it. We love it when the listeners call in and give us a little bit of information.
Well,
and
technically
help
Elmont is suing, but we forgot to mention the
Floral Park was there first.
Floral Park doing it first.
They got their lawyers working on it.
Well, it's a lot of it is just like help us out. I mean, they're building a train station there, which there's already one there, but now it's going to be a full-time train station. Yes. I wish they could build a train station that goes from the Babylon branch to come up the Cross Island to take you there. Because that would be something different.
Something for the future, brother.
Yeah, it's something for the future. Anyway, brother, we have 5 minutes left on our show.
Well, we were talking about the Mets, bro.
Well, yeah, well, okay.
So, just in terms of this week, I mean, really, the Mets can't lose. There's no more losses left in the season for the Mets.
None at all.
And Met fans still clinging to the last vestiges of hope in the season. One more loss and you're done. One more loss and hang it up and say, all right, you know what? It was a nice season, and we can maybe get to 87 wins or something like that.
The Mets could win all the games and still not even come close.
100%.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
4.5 games is really bad, actually, if you think about it.
So I will point out, brother, with the Yankees, they did clinch the American League East title this season, or this week. They are currently battling with the Houston Astros for the best record in the American League, which would be very big because it would give them home field advantage in the playoffs. And both of those teams, the Yankees and the Astros, are far and away better at home than they are on the road. So that could be a very critical advantage for the postseason. Luis Severino yesterday, brother.
Right.
Oh, he's back.
He's back.
5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 9 strikeouts. As Aaron Judge said after the game, our ace is back.
Well,
he was dominant. Loved what I saw yesterday.
You gotta love how the Yankees have had a great season when they had all these injuries.
Well, Luis Severino has now pitched twice. He has pitched 9 innings and has not allowed a run. So,
not a bad thing.
Next outing, he more than likely will go 6 innings, or at least they'll try to get him to 6 innings. He threw 80 pitches yesterday. They'll probably get him up to 90 or so. But I don't see any reason why he can't start the postseason.
Right.
There is no reason. He looks good. And without pitching all season, he's obviously rested. So,
well, yeah. Well, how can you not be?
Ready. You got him. You got Paxton, Paxton has won every one of his last 9 starts. He's been phenomenal for a couple of months now.
Sure.
And Tanaka. And then you use Chad Green and Jay Happ as an opener and reliever. And there's your playoff rotation. And I'll tell you what, that's not bad.
I'd be happy with that playoff rotation.
I'm a lot happier with the rotation now than I was 2 months ago. And it really hasn't changed, except Severino is back.
Right.
But I'll take my chances in October with those guys.
I think the Yankees, they'd be my top pick right now for
Yankees or the Astros.
I like the Yankees a little better.
Astros pitching is formidable, brother.
Yes, I know.
Formidable.
Anyway, brother, we're done. Big Ed's coming up next.
Yes, he is. He's in the studio.
He's in the studio.
Point your Facebook Live camera at him. He's right behind you. He's got his rescue, rehab, and release shirt on. I don't know what that's for. Probably fish and dolphins.
Rob.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
it's fish.
He needs some rescue. That's for sure.
We thank you for filling in for us a couple.
I wanted to talk about VAR today, and I don't have enough time because we only have like a minute left.
Yeah, we do.
But VAR, just the video assistant referee, just absolutely screwed Tottenham out of a game this week. Because it judged that one of Tottenham's players was literally like a millimeter offsides, and maybe I'll get into this more next week. But
the problem,
the system that I love so much, really is it was designed to correct egregious mistakes, and what happened on Saturday to Tottenham was just so not what this thing is intended to do.
Well, I think it works different with soccer than with other sports. I think it's, if you have 2 feet in on a football thing, that will show you that, or a guy touching first base before the ball gets there.
Right.
With soccer, you know what? If you go over the line a little bit, let's say you're offsides, so what? I mean, if it's a foot,
but it's a human element telling you where the player is. It's not computer generated.
Right.
So they can't even be sure of it.
No.
That's the problem.
Anything that close, they should just let go. Anyway,
we'll get into it next week.
We'll get into it next week. Anyway, just a reminder, brother, Lyrical Ladies every Monday at 2 p.m., a show dedicated to women from the 70s to today, from Joni Mitchell to Taylor Swift. These female-led songs forever leave an impact on the music industry. That's Lyrical Ladies every Monday at 2 p.m., right here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. Tim, your Twitter at when?
Still at Real Tim Leonard.
We will see you next week with more from the Press Box, Monday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. This show becomes a podcast later on Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio. Take care. Here comes Good Gold on your radio.
Thanks for the memories, Antonio Brown.
The views expressed on air are not necessarily those of WHPC, its management, or Nassau Community College. Responsible opposing viewpoints will be considered by emailing them to whpc@ncc.edu or by mail at WHPC 1 Education Drive, Garden City, New York 11530. Thanks for listening to the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.